Welcome to another edition of the Metal Voice, and here we are reviewing today Edguy, Space Police, Defenders of the Crown.
Defenders of the Crown, Alan.
Space Police, Defenders of the Crown, Alan. Toby is back, and you know, upon first listen, I said it's finally happened. It's finally happened.
What?
Toby has completely lost his mind. There's some of these songs on here, you're just saying he's gone, he's finished, he's not finished, he's completely went over to the other side. He's been borderline crazy for years, but now he's certifiable. And then you listen to it a few more times and you see the madness.
The madness.
You see the brilliance to his madness.
Yes, yes.
The genius in his folly.
Where are we going with this, Alan? Where are we going with this?
Well, let's get right to the album, Jim.
Okay.
First song. First release was Saber and Torch. Could have been right off the Hellfire Club, as far as I'm concerned. There's your rocker.
I got
first release.
So for me,
hard hitting.
For me, the first song on the album for me was the total disappointment.
What?
I didn't like. I didn't like the first song. As it came out as a single, I go, oh, it sounds so generic. All the guitars sound generic. I'm like, wow, anybody could have written this. Anyone. But go on. Next.
Next. Space Police.
Now that's a great song.
What are you talking about? That one's a little disappointing for me. But anyways, you got the 4-minute break where he goes just like they did in Robin Hood on the previous album. Right around the 4 minutes break, go into a woo. You know, it's kind
Beach
of
Boys.
Woo. As you're
Boys.
saying, Toby's again. He's this close to being certifiable. I mean, they might be committing him any time now.
Defenders of the Crown.
Third song, Defenders of the Crown, not of the Faith.
Another great song.
But of the Crown.
You know what I love about Edguy? At least Toby. I mean, I always say this about other bands too, but he's got a unique sound. He's got unique lyrics. He's got a witty sense of humor.
Yes.
And I have to say, I mean, every song, and it's not verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, right? He's always playing with the structure of the song. I mean, it's not, they have their own unique style.
Oh, you bring up a good point. The lines are starting to blur between Avantasia and Edguy. It's very, very blurry. There's some songs off the last Avantasia said, man, this would have sounded good on an Edguy album.
Yeah.
And there's quite a few songs on here that you got I think the cause of that is the keyboards are a lot more prevalent. More than, I would say, any other Edguy album released to date. It would be the keyboards that are very, very prevalent, especially in the two songs like we just mentioned, Space Police and Defenders of the Crown.
I love them. Two great songs.
And now we leave into Love Tiger.
Tony the Tiger.
There, he's channeled his inner Poison, his inner hair metal bands of the 80s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's channeled. You know, there's that song. Also, Do Me Like a Caveman.
But I love Tony the Tiger.
Do Me Like a Caveman. Just the title, but it's a lot better than what the title would indicate. But again, that takes you right back to the hair metal guitar sounds of the 80s. So he's flirted with that on the past albums, like Hair Force One and Lavatory Love Machine. But this one, he's full-hearted into the almost Poison-esque dedication, I would say.
I wouldn't say Poison. I don't think Poison is have complicated song structures. He is definitely pushing the boundaries of songs, and I mean, I'm waiting for Michael Keys to like poke his head in the vocal there, but at the same time, no, this is I completely disagree. There's nowhere even near, you know, Poison song like structure. Maybe the 80s.
I'm saying the guitar. 80s? He's captured the guitar sound of the 80s on a few of these tracks.
I agree with that.
Most notably, Love Tiger and Do Me Like a Caveman.
Yeah.
And then we come to the realms of Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
That's where he said again. What? Huh? Toby? Huh?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Who? No, we're a long ways from singing about aardvarks like in Pride of Creation off a Rocket Ride. But still, you know, Baba Yaga. But you know what? It's a great song.
It's a great song.
You can't help tapping your foot to it.
Yeah. I agree.
Then comes the cover, which I've got every album that they've done. I'm trying to think back if they've ever done a cover just off the top of my head. But this is a surprising cover.
Rock me, Amadeus.
Amadeus.
Rock me, Amadeus.
Amadeus, Amadeus. He puts his own unique twist to it, especially in the first couple of verses, where you have a very hard time understand what I have to say. Amadeus, Amadeus.
I gotta tell you, Alan. Like I'm a huge metal fan, no question, and I love '80s music, be it new wave, be it even Rock Me on Damn. So I'm happy my two worlds have collided, you know, and I like it. I think he puts his unique stamp of Edguy on Rock Me Amadeus, and to me it's enjoyable.
But of all songs, that's
what's great about Toby.
I don't want to see it live, Toby. Not necessary. Let's focus on maybe some other tracks. But again, and then we go to Do Me Like a Caveman. Like I said, you know, we're this close from Steel Panther. I mean, really, the guitar sounds, the '80s feel, some of the lyrics. Shadow Eaters,
wow,
that's a classic.
That's
a strong song. And also Alone by Myself, that takes you back to kind of like Lost in Space off of Avantasia and the Scarecrow. So very heavy on the keyboards. He's done, you know, ballads before on Edguy's, but nothing, I would say, can I use the word commercial or popish? I mean, he's got the pop sensibilities. He's admitted in the past at Wacken, Festival in Wacken, if he should have played the Lost in Space song, because here's a hardcore heavy metal crowd and he's out there playing Lost in Space, you know, the poppy keyboards, and he did it. Because why? Because he's the man. He decides what's going on.
Like a boss.
Then we got The Eternal Wayfarer. Now right there, Jim, that could have been on any Avantasia album as far as I'm concerned. But that's a great way to end the non-bonus disc.
Excellent way to end. For me, it was another great song off the album. And yes, let's go into the bonus
disc.
I love Steve Harris.
And it's up Steve Harris. That's it's as usual. He always throws a couple of songs at the end, kind of bonus tracks.
Yes.
This one's no different. You've got the England track where he pays homage to everything good about Britain, but more specifically and especially Mr. Steve Harris.
That's
Ari. Then you got the Def Leppard
hysteria
kind of feel, kind of parody almost track. So again, he's channeled out his inner '80s hair metal, and it even came out on the bonus track in Hysteria, which is it's not called Hysteria, but it's a send off of the Hysteria song. The variation on this CD, I would say, is much more varied than a lot of their predecessors.
Well, how would you? Let me ask you this, Alan. If you were to rate this CD or this album within the context of Edguy and their catalog, where would you put it?
Middle of the pack, I would think. Maybe middle towards the top. Yeah, I mean, again.
And what would you rate it out of 10?
The first listen, I gave it a 6 because I'm like, oh, he's lost the plot, as they say. But now, you know, the more you listen to it, and it didn't take long, Jim. Actually, a second listen, a third listen. I had some very long drives this week of about 4 hours, and I was able to really give it a good listen. I couldn't turn it off, honestly, Jim.
So now, what would you rate it?
I would say 8.5 out of 10.
I would agree, 8.5 out of 10. I think, and I'm trying to think to myself, okay, what could they have changed to make the album a 10 out of 10, right? And really there isn't much. I mean, look at the cover. Look at the cover. That's a fantastic cover. That's cool.
I would have changed the cover.
I wouldn't have changed the cover.
I mean, what we said earlier, the cover says it all. Edguy, don't take them seriously. They're actually being criticized for not being so serious all the time. But for me, that's their strength. When anybody can sing about aardvarks in a song and get the word aardvark in the song, that's pure genius as far as I'm concerned.
The cover is fantastic. The production is solid, right?
Yes.
Melodic,
the catchy. Musicianship, Jim, as usual.
Yes.
I mean, these guys, they're fantastic guitar players. Felix on drums, as usual. One of the top drummers, I think, around today. Yeah. He does it effortlessly.
Yeah.
I like that word, effortlessly.
So I think it would be safe to say, Alan, that it's starting at an 8.5 out of 10, and I think the more you're going to listen to it, the higher that rating is going to go. So go purchase Edguy, Space Police, Defenders of the Crown.
Amadeus, Amadeus.